The Contest, Chapter 3. Let me tell you about these people I'm with, and I have learned about them. Indy. He met me when I was trying to find tools to fix the generator. He told me what he and his teammates were trying to accomplish, invited me to help. He and I fought some dogs. I left him because I had no weapons or armor except a machete. I did invite him to come with me in the hearse to leave town, but he refused. But he seems like a trustworthy person. Then you got Plex. I met him in the parking level, and we fought zombies, dogs, chameleons together, until I passed out. Then he stole my machete from my body. On level 1, he took a contract to find Gilbert, the head scientist, and the reward is $1 million. He was told to choose teammates for the job and split the reward with me. We didn't split the reward. He contacted me about it. He is greedy and will steal from you. He's impatient and will fight when there's no need to. Then you have Charlie Hustle. I met him on the parking level. He hid in a car while everyone else fought. He's a coward and doesn't trust others. He won't follow through on his promises, and he's rebellious. He's very paranoid, thinks everybody's out to get him. He will betray you and get you killed. He can't be trusted. Then you got Teddy Jones. I met him in the parking level. He follows whoever he's with. He can't think on his own. He makes bad decisions and doesn't follow through. He talks in situations where he should be quiet, and therefore ends up in hot water a lot. Like when he accused Boris and his wife of kidnapping Rick without proof, even though it was true. He also gambles away all of his money and offers to pay for Chang's meal, then only has $8 to spend. Security is called and he ends up in jail again. He can't be trusted to keep his word. Then of course you got Rick. After losing all his weapons and armor by being stupid, I offered him 2 pistols, but he refused. He's a moron and makes stupid choices. He will get you killed or arrested. Then you have Matt. I met him on level 1. Him, Indy, and Max have formed into one team. After they fought the bears on the parking level, they joined up. Quincy too, but he was killed. Matt's a team player when he's on your side. He restored my health. He'll give you suggestions to increase your abilities and is trustworthy as a teammate. If you're not his teammate, watch out. Then there's Chang. Met him on level 1. Makes rash decisions on his own. Will take what he wants regardless of how you feel about it. Makes great boasts but doesn't realize the reality of things. Still a dreamer and childlike in that regard. Hasn't had much real life experiences to know better. Be careful. Then you've got Sin. He's not a team player. He thinks he's smart, but he's not as smart as he thinks. He's still immature in some ways. Pretends he's mature. Doesn't move smartly when shooting, and will eventually get himself killed. He has his own agenda. He's not a team player. Blames others when his mistakes get him in trouble. Then you have Scott. Not sure about him, but he's good at shooting. Okay, level 2 was just more apartments. I got back on the elevator and went to level 3. While on this level, what I didn't know was that Plex was breaking into apartments again. Security was called and they took him to level 4. The security level, I never saw him again, so I walked around. Rick and Teddy went to buy clothes for Rick, who was still in his boxers. Then they bought him a rifle, but the store didn't sell armor or sling holsters, so everywhere he went, he carried the rifle. Rick bought a laptop and put it in Teddy's backpack. Teddy went to gamble and lost $1,500. Then he went to eat and invited Chang to eat with him. Chang was on level 2 trying to rent out one empty apartment. I had bought a Desert Eagle and enough ammo to fill up my backpack. Then I went upstairs to ask the people living there if they'd seen Gilbert. One man was security. He mentioned he didn't know Gilbert was missing. That Demetrius never said anything. Oh, that's because Demetrius and Bianca are dead. What? Yeah, on the way here I heard a big fight in the hallway. Once it was over, I walked out to see dead people. giant gorillas, and they were dead. I gotta check the cameras. I'll talk to you later. Slam. He closed the door in my face. Huh. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I moved on and asked some scientists. Gilbert's probably just working overtime in the labs. I'm sure he'll show up sooner or later. Then one apartment, nobody was home. The last one, Gabriella answered the door. You hired Plex, who has gone missing, to find your husband. He contacted me, and I've asked everyone on level 3 and this level, but no one seems to know anything. So I have some questions for you. First of all, how do you know he's missing? He hasn't checked in with me, and the chip in his body has stopped transmitting his location. Everyone here, including you, have a chip inside that can be used to locate you at any time. If it's not transmitting a signal, it means someone destroyed it, took it out, or killed you. I see. Others say he spends a lot of time in the labs. Are you certain people he spends a lot of time with? Are there certain people he spends a lot of time with? Bianca, Demetrius' wife. Does he have any enemies? Demetrius. Any reason they hate him? Jealousy? Who knows? In order to investigate and question people in the labs, I will need access to those places. All of them. All of them that he has access to, along with access to the cameras as well. Here, give this to Alice in the computer department on level 3. You are now my personal security. I left and went down to level 3. I called Max on the van brace and said I wanted to talk to him. I'm at the restaurant with Alice. We're sitting in the back. Gotcha. I walked in the restaurant. Then Sin came up to me. Hey, Derek, I need to talk to you. After a while, I have to meet with Max first. I see Max in the back and tell him what transpired between me and the security guy. Well, you better warn everyone else. They'll be on your top before you know it. Also, I took a job that pays $1 million to find Gilbert. If you and your team help, we can split the reward. I'll think about it. If we survive this, I'll let you on the team, provided you don't run. You'll have to fight until the end, meaning you may die. Deal. Alice, I was given this note from Gabriella. She wants you to upgrade my van brace and my clearance. Okay, come with me. We leave the restaurant together, and I go to the computer office. She upgrades my van brace. Meanwhile, Teddy and Rick meet with Chang in the restaurant. The bill comes, and no one can pay for it. Teddy only has $8 left from gambling. So they call security and lock down the whole floor after Alice makes it to the elevators. But she tells Max, come up to my apartment in about an hour. I have to show you something. A group of security guards come down the hall and go in to arrest Teddy and Rick and take them away. Meanwhile, Scott somehow gets a hold of an experimental drug and starts hallucinating. He's taken to level 2 to the scientist apartment. They have beds and a lab in there. Me, Max, Matt, Indy, Charlie, and Chang all go upstairs to Alice's apartment. Everyone is introduced and we sit down. She opens a room in the back and out comes a little girl. Everyone, this is Sarai. Hello, everyone, said Sarai. Sarai is an AI, artificial intelligence. She is in control of the Hive. The Hive is consisted of 13 levels. I built her after my daughter. Gilbert experimented and killed my real daughter. I need you guys to find the evidence of this and return it to me. I also need you to kill Gilbert. These are nanosuits. I have 3, and I can give you as a reward. Feel free to ask me or Sarai any questions you have using your van brace. You may return to your room, Sarai. We left Alice's apartment. Scott was cured of his sickness. Rick was released from jail and went shopping. The rest of us returned downstairs. Because of the lockdown, everything was closed, but soon it all returned to normal. Max and Matt went to gamble, and I went to get a drink from the bar. Rick flirted with the cashier at a supermarket. When she didn't respond like he wanted, he pointed his gun at her and said, "Open the drawer." Just kidding, and left. Sin was in the gun store and told the guy to give up everything. He refused, and Sin shot him. Chang was also in the hallway, along with Scott. The alarm sounded, and everything was shut down again. A group of security guards came down the hall again. Sin fired on them, and he and Chang were in a firefight. Eventually, they killed them all. During all this, Max and Matt were using their nanotech to go invisible and stole 3 carts from the supermarket and loaded them full of gold. Indy also helped. I came out to see what was going on. They all went up the elevator into an empty apartment, the same one Chang was going to rent, but didn't because Teddy invited him downstairs to eat. Derek, we need to get into the gun store. The problem is that Sin shot the owner, and now the door won't open back up. So I tried opening it with my tools, but it wouldn't open. Chang called Sarai to open it, but she could see the owner was dead through the cameras, so no reason to open it. Chang called Max. He sent Matt down, who had basic computer skills, used his van brace to open the door and the cashier computer. All the boxes unlocked. We all started grabbing guns. Max and Indy came down with their carts and filled them with bullets, guns, and scopes. They left, and I followed up the elevator. Once we got to the elevator, the alarm sounded. After we'd come back down, Max, Matt, and Indy took up positions in the casino. Chang had a cart full, but hid in the lockers room of the swimming pool. Scott, Sin, and Rick were near the supermarket. I darted into the electronics store. Rick ran to the gun store and started looking for another gun. "Put your hands on your head," said the guard. "But I'm just looking," said Rick. "I said put your hands on your head." They arrested Rick and took him to the brig. On the way out, they said, "Yes, they're all here. Send in the crocs." Out of the swimming pool rose 2 crocodiles onto the floor. They came down the hall, and Chang ran out ahead of them, and we all took positions against them. They went after Scott and Sin first and attacked them. The rest of us caught them in crossfire. We took some hits, and Sin died, but we finally beat them. We all hurried back to the apartment, but Chang and Scott were trapped on the floor below. In the apartment level, Indy, Max, and Matt and I went to every apartment and cleaned the place out. We drugged the owners and stole everything they had. Chang and Scott went down below to the security level. They had taken out the guards at the desk, but couldn't open the blast doors. The rest of us reloaded and armed and came down to help. Teddy and Rick were in the brig, and agreed to pay us $50,000 split 4 ways to get them out. Max gets the blast doors open, and we make our way through the lockers and on into the office area. Any person can sound the alarm, so we station a person outside each office and bust in and attack each person. We make our way out into the dining room. So there's the elevators and the desk, the computer, the lockers, the offices, and then of course there's the dining area. Beyond that's the kitchen, and then there's the brig. Then way down the hall, we see the elevator open, and out march about 12 soldiers. What we don't see are 12 coming out the elevator, the other elevator. So there's an elevator there, and then they start marching down. We see them coming down this hall. We don't see them coming over here. So we're all in here. And also the guard cells open with armed guards in every one of them. 52 guards and 24 soldiers are on their way towards us. 6 of us against all of them. No one expects to live. Max turns on his nanotech armor and goes invisible by the desk. Indy does the same by the serving window. Matt ducks behind a table. Chang does the same. Scott and I are behind a wall in the second locker room. Guards flood the kitchen from the doors and shoot over the serving windows. Matt is invisible. Only Chang is visible. The soldiers open fire on Scott and me, but can't shoot us because we're in cover. Indy, Max, and Matt open fire. Other soldiers come from the other end of the dining room. Scott moves to help Chang shoot them, and I get behind Max. Even though the soldiers can see me, Max is my cover. After about 15 minutes, the fighting is over, and Charlie comes out of hiding. Matt, Max, and I go to free Woody, Rick, and Teddy. Max and Butters starts checking the guard cells and finds some weapons. An alarm sounds, then a ding, and the elevator door opens. Out come 24 more soldiers. Woody stays in his cell. Charlie goes to the kitchen with Teddy. I run back to help Chang. Scott had been killed. Butters and Max have to take out 4 sergeants. Chang and I are pushed back into the officers' corridor. Teddy is shot and killed, and so is Rick. I'm shot, and Chang is fighting for his life. Finally, Max and Butters kills all 4 sergeants and locks down the elevator. They come to rescue Chang along with Indy and Charlie. They put me into a cell to recover and heal, and they make their way down the elevator shaft to the level below the medical level. And I'm asleep for about 16 hours.